Hello, this is Sir Alexander with my UMS tips and tricks. This now I just have to caution that I am by no means an expert at these custom maps, but I'm doing videos to show you some cool custom maps that I think are fun and an excellent example of what custom maps should be, and how I was able to win at them because I I'm fairly good with custom maps, and I usually win the ones that I play. So, anyways, this is one called Defend Your Castle. It's a standard. It's a well, actually, no, it's a very unstandard turret defense type map. So it is a defense map, but you have a single choke point right here, and possibly later you have to defend here. I don't know if you do or not. I've never made it that far because I've always won before that. And it's not a not one of those group games. It's just live longer than everybody else. So what I first do, you have this building over to the side here where you can get axemen for 5 crystals, and as you can see, you get crystals for every kill. So what I'm doing here is I build 2 axemen and station them right here in the centers like this, in this formation, with my 2 bunkers, and put 1 marine behind it, the marine really just for kicks. After that, then I think I save up and get tanks. Really, as soon as you can get tanks, the better, because tanks are so powerful and just chew through everything, and they're really what you want. Marines, for the most part, are pretty worthless. You want ghosts instead. So if we look at the other person's builds, he's actually doing kind of the same thing with the 3 firebots. He is not. He just went. Nathan went straight to tanks, which isn't bad. And we will see how powerful these tanks are. They're going to be one-shotting most of these forces. Oh, and don't forget, your tanks really don't do all too much splash damage against your own guys. Or maybe they do. Yep, well, I guess they do. Never mind, forget that. So now I've got 3 tanks out, and so I'm just pouring on the tanks, because it's a good thing. Also, in this map, it's very handy late game to have multiple production facilities, because it does actually take time to build units. Not much, but it takes 5 seconds, and that's enough. So what I like to do is put my tanks on the 2 opposing high grounds so that I can get ghosts in the center here. And your units do recharge their HP, though slowly. But you see, now with the triple firebots here, with these tanks here, the triple firebots are really unnecessary. That's just for early game. But these tanks pretty much kill everything before they even get to them. So now I'm going for ghosts, because mutalisks are going to come, and you have to have good defenses against the mutas. Otherwise, if you just have tanks, then they'll just kill you. Now, these bosses are really easy if you have tanks. I just needed more of them. I probably should have gone for 4 tanks on each side instead of just 3, but I was overly wanted to be safe and get to mutas. Also, sending your firebots out against these guys will also help, and focusing your tanks on them. So anyways, I'm going to blast these guys. Over here, it doesn't look like he's quite doing as well. He's got 4 tanks out, but it looks like he's just playing follow-up on what we're doing. And these things are about to go down. Over here, Nathan's got it pretty good. His tanks are pounding away, though these 2 are not in siege mode. I'm sorry, Gert Stick. And he does have an SCV repairing, which is what I was trying to get, but just missed it. And so then I was trying to repair this one. So I'm about to bust these 2 bosses, and looks like his 3 are pressing in, and he might have a hard time on his hands. Anyways, I've just got this 1 left, which will be destroyed. I've got an SCV repairing that, but I decide not to repair that, because what now what I'm going to do is pull back and station my troops back here, so that enemies have to run all the way in. And I just ran my firebots out and killed that. So I'm just going to let that bunker die now. Over here, Nathan's pretty much handling everything a little bit better than I am, actually. But we'll see how this works out late game, because you have to transition into ghosts. If you just keep going with tanks like this, then you're not going to make it. Now he's transitioning into ghosts, but will it be fast enough? That's the question. Over here, he's having a rough time. Tanks in front is not a good idea. I mean, they do have 500 HP, but they're just not all that good. It's much better to have them in the back lines, so that they can get more shots and take less damage. Anyways, so I'm massing up on tanks and trying to get enough ghosts to fend off the mutas that will soon be coming. This is really all about the transition from tanks into ghosts. As far as upgrades and whatnot, you can also buy upgrades with your units. You have a few different types of units. You can get Marines, Siege tanks, and Medivacs. which are also really handy. You always want to get those. And then you can get mages, mage and battle mage, which I don't really do those. I mean, if you were good with micro, I mean, I'm pretty good with micro, but I just didn't feel like working with the Psy Storms, just because my tanks eat everything for breakfast anyways. Wow, those Banelings have a bunch of health, or no, a bunch of armor. Anyways, and they all bunch up so nicely around my bunkers that I'm just gonna, blast them all. Anyways, so I've got my production facilities going and trying to keep up with my minerals, and I'm about to hit my max pop. So don't forget to do your upgrades too. That's really going to help. So I'm doing my upgrades, and the first few Mutalisks should be on the way. I'm going to speed this up because it's just a bunch of waves until the next boss comes. So he's doing pretty good over here. He's got his tanks pretty well situated. For some reason, he's got...
strike down upon thee with great vengeance.
Okay, this is one of the more difficult bosses because it destroys your base defenses. It's got such a long range and it does nothing but attack your defenses, as you can see. So it's just going to burn that down and then press forward. He moved his mage out here, but his mage can't actually attack. So, anyways, that will be focusing on the command center. I've already busted mine because I ran out with my... Oh, wait, no, I didn't. Never mind. There we go. I'm going to move everything out and kill it. And that'll be the end of that. Now, here come the mutas. This is where it gets difficult. So, I'm killing the mutas, but we'll see how everybody else is faring. So, it looks like all of his base defenses are down, and his citadel is at low HP. And it looks like over here for Nathan, they are piling up, which is not a good thing. You don't want your guys to pile up. You want to be consistently destroying them as they walk in. Because if they pile up, then it's very difficult to deal with because you eventually get so many, especially these Mutalisks, that you can't deal with them. So it looks like these Mutalisks are wave 10. And we also have Banshees, which are wave 11. So what you want to have is this. This is what I have. Ghosts down the center, a couple of ghosts on each side, and medevacs, which medevacs can actually heal your tanks too. You want to have medevacs stationed up here, and this will probably... I don't know if this will actually win the game, because I've never gotten farther than what it shows in this game, but I can tell you that this will most likely let you live longer than anyone else. This guy's about to get owned because of all these Mutalisks and Banshees. You just can't let him pile up, and he's actually going to die before Nathan because Nathan, Gertstick has workers repairing it, but he's about to die too. Oh yeah, and he's still spawning units. So here comes the next boss. Well, actually, I don't know where the next boss came. Okay, and it looks like that these guys are level 12. So you really need a lot of anti-air late game. But anyways, this is my UMS tips on defend your castle. Hope you've enjoyed, and please, any tips or tricks that you have, place in the comments, and I will be very interested in trying them next time I'm on and then casting that game with those. Hope you enjoyed this, and hope this helps if you play this game. Like I've said, I've only done it a few times, but this is just my first overview of the game. So, thank you very much for joining me, and hope you'll join me for the rest of my UMS tips and tricks.